5 days of Prozac withdrawal, fluoxetine, an ssri, serotonin reuptake inhibitor, commonly used for an antidepressant or anti-anxiety. I've been on it for years. I've been on multiple antidepressants. Never have I felt the hell that I have felt these past 5 days. Prozac withdrawal. My name is James. I'm a grateful recovering addict and alcoholic. On this live stream, we're going to be talking about the hazards, the hellish dangers, what to expect from coming off of Prozac specifically. Now, I've come off of Wellbutrin, Cymbalta, Remron, a couple others, and I don't remember it being like this. Flu-like symptoms, muscle aches, sharp headache, insomnia, bone-chilling bone chills. I was shaking. Those of you who have been following this channel for a while may remember that there was another point in my life where I was shaking and I couldn't put my finger on it. I was shaking to the bone, muscle aches and stuff. I think that's when I probably tried to come off of Prozac myself. And that would have been cold turkey without the taper that I'm currently on. I've been taking 20 milligrams for a couple years now. I am tapering at the advice of my doctor to 10 milligrams, then probably 5, then probably 0. I'm already starting to notice here on the 5th or 6th day, and hopefully it's gonna sustain. I still feel like I have a cold. I still feel like I have flu-like symptoms. What's up, Joseph Griffey? Good to see you and good to be seen. I am feeling better today. I toughened up, and the tough got going today, and last night and yesterday was the worst of it, and I believe it was the 5th day of my Prozac taper for coming off of Prozac. Now, I went from 20 milligrams to 10, but those of you in my comments for last night's video, some of you are going off of 60 milligrams cold turkey. I would highly advise against this. It is hell. Now, in all the reading I've been doing, it is said that some people experience it, some people don't. Maybe it depends on your age, your dosage, and how long you've been taking it. But I'll tell you about my day yesterday when we get more people in here, and you might second guess trying to come off of Prozac or any other ssri or antidepressant. Hopefully, maybe it will help. What's up, Stephen Foss? How goes it today? First, while people gather, I'm going to read about Prozac and its withdrawal. Hey, Cats, how you doing today? Here are some withdrawal symptoms from Prozac. Digestive systems, cramps, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, reduced appetite. I experienced reduced appetite and cramps. Balance-related symptoms, dizziness, lightheadedness, potential affecting mobility, can affect individuals coming off of Prozac. I experienced dizziness upon rising from the couch. Deep sleep disturbances, nightmares, vivid dreams, insomnia, or excessive dreaming may occur during fluoxetine withdrawal. This happened the first day, the first night, and the second night that I came from 20 milligrams to 10. I had remarkably vivid dreams, and they were nightmarish, they were stressful, but I am the type that enjoys these kinds of dreams, some of them. So I was pretty stoked about that. I thought it was the nicotine. So the very first thing I noticed from my first day of fluoxetine withdrawal, Prozac withdrawal, was that I was feeling incredibly low, and I went to get nicotine. This is an example of the dangers for an addict. If our medicine isn't working, we're gonna self-medicate. Now, my sobriety in AA is strong. My spirituality, my trust in God is strong. So I didn't go to the liquor store, nor did I think about it. But I said to myself, you know what? This is really, really low. And I could use my binky. I could use my Mike Tyson binky. Today, considering they give me headaches and they might have contributed to my overall painful state, I'm back on the nicotine lozenges. For all of you who would like an alternative to vapable and smokable nicotine, these lozenges are where it's at. I bite them in half, thus getting double my value. Yes, such dreams do make journal fodder. Digital solder after getting out of the hospital after DTs, the doc prescribed Zoloft, which is similar to Prozac. I don't know if I should take it or not. Let's circle back to that. Zoloft. What did he prescribe it for you? For? To my understanding, it's an antidepressant, maybe an SSRI. This is my personal choice coming off of Prozac. I believe that, well, I want to see. It's been since 2007 that I've been on antidepressants, and I would like to see. I would like to see. I want to fix low moods, and I want to produce serotonin the good old-fashioned way. I personally don't trust Big Pharma. I do know it saves lives occasionally, and it has potentially helped my mood over the past decade or so. However, the stuff that's happening to my body when I'm coming off of it is quite alarming. Also, I've been talking about my low motivation, my sloth, seeming laziness on this channel for a while. I may suspect that these ssris mess with dopamine levels, which is the motivation chemical, and other things of that sort. I'm already feeling, and I know it's only been a day since I felt better. I'm already feeling somewhat excited. I'm feeling twinges of excitement about things like music. One of the reasons people come off of ssris is because they report a numbing of emotions, a lack of love, oxytocin, a lack of inspiration, a lack of passion, a lack of mood. They feel numb. I may be just the type of Polish person that just went through all these years not even noticing, but I could be passionate again. More passionate. What's up, Noah? Just thought I'd stay on. I'm probably going to have to take a shower. Get off for maybe 20 minutes. You're going to get off in the shower for 20 minutes? Little too much information there. Speaking of which, Jim Carrey has come off of Prozac. As per last night's live stream, we talked about it. He claims, I believe him. He stays away from alcohol, drugs, even caffeine, and came off of Prozac because he's a very spiritual individual. This coincides with the reason I'm coming off of. I've discovered a spiritual life, things that make me feel good, things that give me natural serotonin. Helping others, doing the next right thing, dropping the negative rocks that I've been carrying all my life, like substance abuse, even the ones that sneak in the back door, like cannabis and mushrooms. I am now, and this is from the power and grace of a God of my understanding, I have asked for the willingness to drop these rocks, and slowly but surely it is happening. I quit, alcohol 6 months ago, weed 5-6 months ago, mushrooms, I haven't done them. I tried to do them and regretted doing so, and ironically, I was on mushrooms when I gained the insight that I probably shouldn't take mushrooms anymore. So like I said before, there are benefits, but for the addict, it is a slippery slope. So, Prozac, antidepressants, anti-anxiety. Why am I coming off of them? First, let me tell you the hell I've been through. Well, I can sum it up. Yesterday, I got the kind of bone chills. I call them bone-chilling chills. It's the same kind of stuff when you have a flu. You're shivering under all the blankets in the world. You're shivering. It feels like your body's clenching. I had a headache, all my muscles, all my old injuries, and I've had a ton of them, hurt. My ACL surgery, my collarbone surgery, my bulging neck disc, my bulging lumbar disc, my headache. It was radiating into my head. I'm experiencing cold and flu-like symptoms just from everything from sneezing to a little bit of nausea. I thought I had to have a bucket by my bed last night. That went all the way into the morning, and my morning was not regular. It wasn't typical. I wanted to get up and drink coffee because I know it might help, but all I could do was get up and swallow some acetaminophen, Excedrin, and some ibuprofen and go back to sleep. I stopped around Monday or Tuesday, and it is the Monday, when I figure 5 days ago, I've taken five 50% doses of my normal dose, 20 milligrams. So 5 days ago, I started taking 10 milligrams. The first 2 days, not much I noticed, except for the crazy dreams. I didn't connect it with that. Actually, the first day or the second day, I did notice a very low mood. So much so that I went and got my binky, my Tyson binky, which I absolutely hate. It's probably the reason my voice sounds like this today, and it contributes to the headaches. My complexion? It's the light. It's the lighting. I hope for the better. Whoa, that'd be so cool if I was good looking all of a sudden when I stopped my Prozac. How's my complexion now? Is it ugly? Tell me about me. Anyway, let me sum it up by saying it's been hell, and I hear Prozac can last for months. Prozac withdrawal. Let me read the Prozac withdrawal timeline. Antidepressant timeline. Phases of ssri withdrawal. Acute withdrawal. Acute withdrawal phase can last 6 to 8 weeks. During this phase, you may experience flu-like symptoms, have greater fatigue, and notice increased feelings of anxiety and depression. I slept most of the day today, and I'm going to sleep after this stream. I'm still kind of exhausted. It's almost like I have a virus. Then the second phase is protracted withdrawal. The protracted phase of ssri withdrawal, sometimes referred to as the post-acute withdrawal or pause. We've heard that before. There's also post-acute withdrawal from alcohol and other addictions, up to, your emotions. If you've been drinking for decades heavily, your emotions you learn. You literally learn. You have a paradigm shift in the way you think, act, feel, and dance. Pause refers to symptoms lasting longer than 6 months. According to one study, the average person experiencing protracted antidepressant withdrawal had symptoms for 37 months, with some reporting for years. Now, I actually don't know if I would be quitting Prozac if I didn't have a newfound faith in a God of my understanding. As you guys may know, the program of alcoholics is my chosen modality for sobriety, and it works. The 12 steps involve trusting in God, cleaning house, and helping others. The trust in God was the very last element, the very last puzzle piece of my recovery journey over the past two and a half decades or so. And it was only when I accepted that I don't know enough to say there is no God. Who am I to say there is no God? So I made a leap of faith, did step 3, trusted in God, and turned my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand it, him, her, whatever your God goes by. When this happened, instantly half of my anxiety and depression went out the window, and it dwindles every day. I am practicing this more and more every day, and it's the closest thing to magic I've ever experienced. Trusting in God, recognizing that you're not in control. You don't have much to say about what goes on in reality. Traffic, relationships, finance, none of this stuff is really under your control. We can trust in God and do the next right thing, and that is what has been taking me to the promised land of mental health. Everything I do now, I run by a God of my understanding. And no, I don't talk to God. No, God doesn't talk to me. But in a way, yes. There is a leap of faith that happens, doing the next right thing, and then seeing what happens. Good and bad rarely, I'm less and less the terms good and bad. The judgments of good and bad less and less are prevalent in my life because of trust in God. If I'm stuck in traffic, God's will be done. If I'm going to be late for an appointment because of it, God's will be done. You know what I mean? There's nothing I can do about it. There's no reason I should get pissed. I don't know enough to get pissed. And frankly, neither does anybody. We don't know enough. What do we know? We know that they should really redesign this highway so there's more exits and stuff. You ever hear your dad or your mom talk about stuff like that? Oh, they should really design it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're an engineer now? No. Man's ego is out of control. Ego edging God out. Excuse me, I have a runny nose. Stephen Foss, I'm sincerely worried about you. I sure hope you're talking to your doctor about this. Seems to be a trend now. What happened to recovery? Seems that has dropped from the conversation. No, this is a recovery channel, and this is an addiction recovery stream. This is part of recovery. I was just talking about the spiritual program of AA and how much I trust in it, and my sobriety. My emotional sobriety has been all but cleansed by my trust in God and the working of the 12 steps. Recovery, sobriety. This is what I'm talking about, Stephen Foss. How do you stop insomnia from drugs in your best understanding? How do you stop it? Trust in God. Trust in God, exercise, and diet. Since the dawn of time, since we've been able to understand English, diet and exercise has been talked about. Since then, the media, the powers of money that want your money, and they want you to believe that this diet is the only way that can do it, this pill is the only thing that can do it, this, that, and the other thing. However, diet and exercise is long been the truth. Let food be thy medicine. Do the next right thing, help others. Do more esteemable things to gain self-esteem. Love and tolerance is our code. Kindness. I heard a very smart individual that I can't really remember his or her name, I was reading, said they think when we get to the gates of heaven, there's going to be one question. How kind were you? Noah says, I've been on weed trying to stop just hard, because without what I still have weed, I'm really left with nothing at all. I know that feeling all too well, Noah. And my entitlement, my addiction will say, well, what do you have to do? Why can't you drink? James, come on. Everybody else gets to drink. I'm a United States Navy sailor veteran. You know what I'm saying? And I start getting all entitled. This is our ego. Replace it with the spiritual program of Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. They even have Marijuana's Anonymous. Even though I don't like the word marijuana, it was invented by racists and propagandists. They have Marijuana's Anonymous. I quit weed, and trust me, I know, Noah. I thoroughly, it wasn't just an obsession, it was also enjoyment to me, growing it, the whole ritual. I understand everything about it, but we addicts have an obsession of the mind, and if I have weed in my life, I will smoke it all up, and I will grow more, or I will, lie, cheat, and steal to get more. It's an obsession of the mind. One is too many, 1,000 is not enough. I wish I could just smoke on a weekend every once in a while, or a boat trip, but I've tried that as well, and as it turns out, that's what starts the obsession, and it may not happen the next day or the day after that, but one of those following days you're going to be like, you know what, I think I'll get a quarter pound of weed just to keep it around my house. And if you don't believe me, just remember I said it next time it happens. But I know that pain, Noah, especially when the whole world's smoking weed. And I know that too, Michael. I know that feeling. What do I get to have? Everyone gets to have something. What do I get to have? Apparently, obviously, it is, I don't. I have a disease. It is addiction and alcoholism. I don't get to partake in mind-altering substances because of it. Diabetics don't get to partake in sugar. Paraplegics don't get to partake in walking. Serial killers are obsessed with killing, sometimes eating and raping dead bodies. You know what I mean? Alcoholism and addiction is not the worst of things that we could... blind people don't get to see. How do you think they feel? Deaf people don't get to hear music. How do you think they feel? This is the ego talking. This is the part of the self-centered part of the disease of addiction and alcoholism. What about me? Why can't I just feel better? There is a way to feel better, and it's become spiritually fitter by working the progress and not perfection program of Alcoholics Anonymous or any of the 12-step programs. There's over a dozen. There's dozens 12-step programs. If you're a codependent, there's Codependents Anonymous. If you're a sex and love addict, there's Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. Heroin's Anonymous. Nicotine's Anonymous. There's Under-Earners Anonymous. If you're just obsessed about how much you're under-earning, there's Workaholics Anonymous, which I still don't understand because there's not really a word There's not really a drug called workahol. Coda, that's right. John, I've been to one before. They're not bad. All centered around the 12 spiritual principles of Alcoholics Anonymous was the first. In my personal opinion, anyone can go and benefit from Alcoholics Anonymous. It doesn't even matter if they're an addict or alcoholic. That's why there's open meetings and closed meetings. Closed meetings, it is suggested that only alcoholics attend. Open meetings, me, you, your mama, and your cousin Lou can come. Yes, me quitting Prozac is part of my recovery. I'm still practicing a strong program. As a matter of fact, it's what's bringing me out of the hole of Prozac withdrawal. My sponsor is close by, and he said, I'm sorry you're feeling this. I'm sorry you're going through it. And he took a meeting for me, chaired a meeting, because I told him I really couldn't do it. Stephen, so I appreciate your concern, but I am 100% pumping on 8 cylinders. Sobriety, spiritual recovery from my, not only alcohol, but from my addictive behaviors. What is the next right thing? What is God's will? God's will never be, you know what? Why don't you just stay home and watch porn all day? That's not the next right thing. That's an addictive behavior. Once we put down alcohol, and this comes from experience, we will pick up something else, whether it be dating, treating objects like women, or video games, or it can be positive sometimes. Working out, exercising is a popular one when people put down the booze. This YouTube channel is a product of my obsession taking another conduit. I work on this thing alcoholically. I'll wake up and come to my computer before I've had food in my system. It's just how we are. We obsess over things that build serotonin. I've been obsessing over Alcoholics Anonymous, and I think that if I'm going to obsess over anything, spiritually recovering from alcoholism and addiction is the thing to obsess over, and that's why I'm here. Prozac, why am I quitting? Well, judging from all the things that withdrawal involves, it messes with your body. I literally felt like my body was being torn apart. My mind was being torn apart yesterday and all through the night. This is serious withdrawal. This is something that this addict didn't know about. I've tried to come off of it before, didn't even know that the chills, the body aches, and the eventual migration back towards alcohol and other self-medications was part of it. That's because my addiction, the cunning, baffling, and powerful disease of my mind, didn't want me to make that connection. Now, with my eyes open and the power of God, of my understanding, I can see these things. And if I don't see it yet, it's not time. But I do see it. What I don't understand is yet to be revealed. This is called trust in God. What I want sobriety instantly. It happens on God's time. In reality, it happens. I accept this. I had a very wise sponsor once tell me that acceptance is the answer to all of our problems. And literally, that makes complete sense. If you accept every one of your problems, which is nothing but an internalized judgment anyway, calling it a problem, if you accept it as God's will or reality, and also have had the experience to know that things you've called bad or problems or horrible occurrences in your life before have turned out to be the best thing that's ever happened to you. I don't think any one of us in here could disagree. We all have an example of something that we thought bad happened. We thought the world was ending. Maybe it was a relationship that ended. Maybe it was a job that you thought was going to mean the world to you. You didn't get it. Maybe a year later, you got a job you love more, where you meet the love of your life. Things that are bad, things that are problems, these are just relative man-made concepts, is how I've been trusting in God, and I trust it so much as long as I still feel it's in God's will for me to come off of Prozac. I'm going to wean down to 10 milligrams, and then I'm probably going to wean off of it totally. For all I know, the hell I just went through, or the hell I'm going to go through, coming off of Prozac means a brighter future where I'm more aware, I'm more emotionally sober, I'm more motivated, because a big pharma chemical is not messing with the balances of my natural means of motivation and serotonin production. Later, Noah. Many do not comprehend the alcoholic is a very sick person. And besides, we are sure that our way of living has its advantages for all. Right. I honestly think anyone can benefit from the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I've said it before. The program, the 12 steps, is nothing but the spiritual principles from spiritual leaders before, and whole religions. It's basically, it's spiritual knowledge. The 12 steps is just other words for spiritual progress. So anyone can benefit from Alcoholics Anonymous, which is why I talk about it and not many of the other programs. If you are trying to quit weed, there is a Marijuana's Anonymous, but I swear you can go to Alcoholics Anonymous and use the principles to quit weed. Now, I wish there was a Prozac's Anonymous. Another reason I'm quitting Prozac is because I am sick of watching these commercials or ads about antidepressants where a long list of horrible side effects is listed like it's just nonchalant. You know, America is one of the only places, if not the only place, where that occurs, and we just ignore it. I mean, we can watch these commercials of these people throwing footballs, and they're on Prozac allegedly on the screen, and there's flowers and there's iced tea, and and then by law they have to mention the side effects, and they go down the list. Side effects can include sexual side effects, flu-like symptoms, and sometimes death. And we're just like writing down the number because we're so conditioned to just listen to it. I'm sick of listening to it. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't medicines that help people live a better life. Prozac, Cymbalta, Wellbutrin, these are all things that have helped me to arrive at the place where I am in my journey right now, which is a place that I sincerely believe, with a trust in God and the program of AA, I don't need anymore. I am also open to, if the crap hits the fan, and suicidal thoughts, which is also listed on the side effects, by the way, suicidal thoughts and ideation. If that starts happening and stuff, I'll go back on Prozac. But right now I'm trusting in God, and that kind of power it continues to amaze me. The power of a God of your understanding, the power of faith has continued to amaze me, and I am willing to go through the hell that I've been through in the past 5 days. Now I'm hoping that I'm one of the people that maybe I have a faster metabolism, which I believe I do, than a lot of people. Maybe the withdrawal symptoms won't last as long, or won't be as intense. They were pretty intense, but maybe they won't last as long. Hey, Holly. Holly says, if I don't take mine for a few days, I'm off the rails. Please consult a doctor before tapering. True, I have consulted my doctor because it's the next right thing to do. Before I learned about spirituality and doing the next right thing, I've come off of Prozac before. Cold turkey, because I don't know. You never know. It's cunning, baffling, and powerful. Perhaps it was my addiction playing chess with my actions, because the facts are, after damn near 8 years of abstaining from alcohol, after that I had went back to alcohol. And the facts are, on this taper off of Prozac, I went back to my nicotine vape. It's not the end of the world, but it is also tangible proof that we self-medicate. This is where the taper comes in, and this is where the trust in God comes in. Because I don't know about you, but foxhole prayers have been with me my entire life. Foxhole prayers. Foxhole is a word for back in the world wars. They would dig foxholes to lay in and shoot at the enemy. Well, there was a lot of foxhole prayers from atheists. There's no atheists at war. That's another quote. For those of you who are concerned, I have a VA doctor that we discussed this before he sent me the lower dose. So I am being prescribed a Prozac taper. My Prozac cannot be broken in half. It's a capsule. So for those of you who think I just broke a 20 milligram capsule in half, first of all, there's no reason I will lie to you guys. I haven't in the past, and I'm not now. I will tell you, I'm trying to come off of Prozac by myself. And let's see how it goes. I mean, if you don't believe that, you should probably watch more of my videos. But I believe one of my core values is the truth. I'm always digging for the truth. I don't if there's a giant elephant in the room, I'm the guy that will talk about it almost instantly. Everybody else is talking about the weather and shit. I'll be the guy to be like, what is this big ass elephant doing in the room? Does nobody want to talk about this? And if you don't know me by now. Right. I don't break capsules. In fact, the old me would have just come off of Prozac because I thought I was a tough guy. And the old me has done that. And I didn't care about my I just wasn't open, honest, and willing. So I didn't look up, I didn't ask my doctor, and I didn't do the research. So I didn't know flu-like symptoms were a part of it. For some reason, I just assumed that I'll be depressed while I'm going through withdrawal. I also had the theory that most drugs are like this. Alcohol is like this. 3 or 4 days and you're past the withdrawal symptoms. That's not entirely true, actually. For fast metabolisms like mine, yes, I work my way through drugs. Well, I'll stop doing them, and 3 or 4 days, they will physically be out of my system. However, it's not true across the spectrum. And for me to think that is irresponsible and dangerous. Obviously, nicotine, sure, maybe you're physically over it in 3 or 4 days, but I've been tempted to smoke nicotine my entire life, years after I quit. So, you know what I mean? I know where you're coming from, Stephen. I never once thought you were being unkind. I know where you're coming from. Stephen is a big book reader, quoter, and anybody that follows the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can wholeheartedly trust with your children, your dogs, and your jewelry. I mean, well, maybe not anybody, but for someone like Stephen, who I hear quoting the big book all the time, I trust that when he says, James, I'm worried about you. I don't know what you're doing with this Prozac. And that's why I explained it. He wasn't being unkind. He was saying he's worried about me. It's actually kindness. And I've had friends that told me the same thing. My sponsor, the first thing he asked me when I said I'm coming off Prozac and I feel like really crappy, first thing he asked me is, are you doing it under advisement of your medical professional? Because number one, he knows me, but above all, he knows alcoholics. We think we know. Our thinkers are broken, and we will just assume our way into a tough situation. I said, yes, I'm coming. I'm in touch with my doctor. He's the one that sent me the lower dose, and I'm also trusting in God. And he's like, good. Well, I'm sorry you're going through this. This too shall pass. And then, whatever I can do to help. What's a big statement, Miss Ford? But I would like to emphasize that coming off of SSRIs are for real legit. There is a chance that you might not feel anything. I think. Don't just go on that. My sponsor said he came off of antidepressants and he didn't feel anything. I think I read, I'm not sure, but I think I read results may vary. And that's what I thought. I thought if I will experience a little uncomfort, I can handle that. I was taking my will back when I came off of it before. I don't do that anymore. I am constantly asking for God's will, and I'm constantly monitoring whether I am just making my will seem like God's will. I am open and honest and willing to accept God's will if he says, you better stop, get back on Prozac. As of now, it seems to me that it's working out. But yesterday was hell, and the day before that was hell junior. I'm not saying 5 days and you're off of Prozac. I'm saying 5 days, and it seems like I rounded the bend this morning. ES says, I mainly feel depressed coming off of Prozac. I got brain zaps coming off of Lexapro. That's another thing I've read about. I haven't had them yet, but I have had brain zaps in my past, and I've been on Prozac for, almost 20 years. 15 years, more like 15 years. I've been on some sort of antidepressant, and I am very excited about seeing what will happen with an all-natural way of maintaining serotonin, motivation, and passion. It just seems like you're going too fast, and I've heard you guys say this yesterday, and trust me, I'm listening. I am willing to get 5 milligram doses And but we're addicts. We want everything now. And that would be my most honest answer. That's why I've quit it in the past before without tapering. But also, Ingrid, I've read and talked about with my prescriber one of I guess the most typical ways to taper off of these SSRIs is a 50% decrease after a certain amount of time. 50% of 20 is 10, then you go from 10 to 5, then you go from 5 to 2.5, stuff like that. The 50% decrease. Now, sure, it was hellish these past couple days, but who's to say how hellish it could have gotten if I came right off of it instead of had 10 milligrams in my system? You know? And it's also progress, not perfection, Ingrid. Not too long ago, in 2023 actually, I stopped taking Prozac, just stopped it. 20 milligrams to 0. So, progress, not perfection. I asked my doctor. I'm growing. In my opinion, and from what God is showing me, I'm growing. I'm progressing. I'm not perfect, nor will I ever be. Perfection doesn't exist in the universe. That's not my opinion. I saw it on a documentary. But yeah, I appreciate you all's concern. I've done some pretty wild stuff on here. This is not one of them. Coming off of Prozac is not one of them. I personally believe. Now, in a week, I might be back on Prozac, and I might be saying I was wrong. But as of now, I feel like this is the path to a better life. It's not a path to my will, it's a path to my higher self. Being led by my higher power and my conscious contact with a God of my understanding. I'm stoked. I'm stoked about what I already feel concerning motivation, clarity, and stuff like that. And I will let you know, I'll be letting you know along the journey on how it's working out. But the message of this stream is, if you do want to discontinue SSRIs or any other antidepressant, do it according to a medical professional. Even now that I'm spiritually fitter, more sober than I've ever been, I'm still gonna make mistakes. My addiction's still gonna play tricks on me. The tools from the program have been knocking them right out of the sky, but I have to stay close to the program. I have to stay close to spiritual fitness by doing the next right thing. You know what I mean, man? How was your 5K, Ingy? Yeah, man. Life is good. Life is good. This paycheck coming up for my for this YouTube channel, thanks to you members and super chatters, is gonna be the biggest one in a long time. I don't want to tell you what it is because it's embarrassing. But let's just say it's progress, not perfection. Everything hurt the next day after your 5K. It was for a good cause, I take it? Those things usually are for a cause. Well, good for you, Engie. I haven't ran one. I guess I probably will. Soon. When it's in the cards. When it's in the cards. Alright, y'all. Well, that's that about Prozac. If there's anything you'd like to say it now or forever hold your peace. And in a minute, we'll call it a night. Go to our respective comfort zones and be comfortable. And hopefully not let our minds and our will take over about slipping into morose worry and self-pity. For that will inhibit our service to our fellows and fellettes. Do SSRIs actually help with depression? I would say yes, Digital Soldier. I'd say yes. However, I might not have depression. I went on SSRIs after my coma in 2008. 2007 was the coma. 2008, I went on SSRIs. I was skinny. I had this scar that I didn't know that some shirts would cover up. So I was depressed about that. My body had just almost died, so I'm sure serotonin production was not exactly like tip top. Some people do claim that it does make your emotions numb, which is another reason why I would like to come off of them. This is an experiment. If I do suffer from depression, which is a real and sometimes life-threatening illness, I am willing to be honest to go back on it. However, I am wondering if I have general depression, depressive disorder, and from what I've been learning in the spiritual program of AA, I think I'm on the right path. But yes, scientifically, you can look it up. I'll tell you right now what an SSRI does. SSRI, serotonin reuptake inhibitor. That doesn't explain anything, but here's what Prozac is. It's an SSRI antidepressant used to treat a variety of disorders, including major depression, OCD. SSRI, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Prozac increases the amount of serotonin in the brain. Serotonin is the feel-good chemical, and also, I'm learning now, has a lot to do with the function of your body, which may improve mental health. Prozac withdrawal side effects may occur if the medication is abruptly discontinued. So basically, in a nutshell, some people's brains apparently have trouble reproducing serotonin, or maybe the reuptake inhibitors or the receptors for serotonin are faulty. So therefore, a person is chemically not able to have a sense of well-being. This is a real thing. And it's what depression is defined as. And like I said, my medical professional knows more than I do. And he's known me for years. And we talk. And he agrees that, yeah, you can try coming off of it. But my answer to that is yes, they do work, but yes, there is side effects. Sexual side effects are the most common with serotonin reuptake inhibitors. That means noodle D for he, and maybe, dry box for her. I'm not sure about her, but I will tell you from experience, almost every, if not every, I will say every antidepressant I've ever taken messes with my D. To put it simply, sexual side effects are the most common with these medications. But there's also, and that makes sense because sex releases serotonin. It's very serotonin relative. But talk to your doctor about that, digital soldier. My counselor loves Wellbutrin because it's the only antidepressant that works on dopamine. She thinks it's the best for addicts, but everyone is different. I'm on a little Zoloft myself. A great friend of mine from the rooms, she's 15 years sober. She recently got on Wellbutrin and absolutely is thrilled with it. And I've also heard that as well. People use it to quit smoking. People prescribe it to quit smoking. Soldier says my doctor wanted to prescribe me a low-dose Ativan long-term to stop from drinking. To me, they are both just as dangerous. Correct. It's a benzodiazepine. That withdrawal is one of the few drugs you can die from by means of seizure and other complications. Alcohol, benzodiazepines, and barbiturates. Wellbutrin can help sex drive too. Yeah, but ironically, you might be driven to sex, but not able to perform physically, would be my guess. Steven, thank you for being here. Miss Ford as well. ES, Ingy, Digital Soldier, Noah, all y'all out there. I love seeing you. And be careful if you're coming off of antidepressants. Be careful if you're going on antidepressants. I hear there's a buildup too. These things are serious. The medicine for alcoholism is Alcoholics Anonymous. That's why I go every day, sometimes twice a day. It is the medicine for alcoholism. And I'm going to say addiction and even low self-esteem, depression, sadness, low self-worth. Alcoholics Anonymous is the way of life that any addict alcoholic should choose. In my humble opinion. And by the proof of me standing here before you today. And another addiction recovery live stream topic coming at you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you gained value from this live stream, be sure and hit the thumbs up, share it with someone you love, share it with someone you hate. Consider joining to help me carry the message. The join button is in the chat box pinned to the top or on my homepage, Sober James on YouTube. Just hit the join button, explore the tiers. It comes with perks as well. And until next time, which is tomorrow at 9, keep it clean, keep it real, keep doing the damn thing. Peace.